Hi my friend, how are you? Welcome to Joystick, and in this video of Joystick we are going to solve the matrix chain multiplication problem using dynamic programming. Let's jump to the problem statement straight away. You are given four matrices of different dimensions. So your four matrices are A, B, C and D. Now as you can see here, 5 is the number of rows and 4 is the number of columns in the first matrix, which is A. In the second matrix, which is B, 4 is the number of rows, 6 is the number of columns, and likewise in C and D. The problem statement is that you have to find the most optimized way, alright, of multiplying these matrices together such that the cost of multiplication is bare minimum. So let me tell you one thing straight away, that when you are going to multiply these matrices together, okay, the multiplication result is going to be the same, doesn't matter which way you choose, but the way which you are going to choose, that is the essence of matrix chain multiplication problem. That has to be the most optimized way. If it is not clear to you, I'm sure it is going to be clear to you in the next slide. So let's move to the next slide. Like I told you, that finding the multiplication is not what the problem needs, okay, as it is going to be always the same. It's how you multiply these matrices together, okay. Since the matrix multiplication is associative, hence the result is always going to be the same, but the ways are going to be different, and the cost that is going to come out of each way is also going to be different. So we have to choose the way which gives us the minimum cost. So let's talk about these ways. Okay, so this is the first way I can think of. So I will be multiplying B and C first, and then the result with A, and then the entire result with D. Okay, just observe the placement of the brackets. In the second way, what I'm doing, I'm multiplying again B and C together, but now I'm multiplying the result with D and then the entire result with A. So I will repeatedly be telling you, observe the brackets. In the third way, I'm multiplying A and B together on one hand and C and D together on the other hand, and then multiplying the results together. In the fourth way, I am multiplying C and D together and then the result with B and then the entire result with A. So in the fifth one, I am multiplying A and B together, then the result with C and then the entire result with D. So there are 5 ways by which you can multiply A, B, C and D together. We have to pick which one of these 5 gives us the minimum cost. So let's jump to the framework where we are going to formulate the algorithm to reach to the solution of matrix chain multiplication problem. Before we go there, let me tell you one thing, that at the end of this video, I am going to be telling you what you need to do to build the intuition such that you solve a matrix chain multiplication problem on your own. Because intuition development is very important, such that the solution to this problem or similar problems occurs to you in future automatically. So just keep watching this video till the end, and I'll be telling you the secret to develop the intuition to solve such dynamic programming problems. If you are new to my channel, then to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon, because that way you'll get notified whenever I'm going to release new videos in the future. So let's jump to the framework now and crack this problem. Here we are at our framework where we are going to formulate the algorithm to solve the matrix chain multiplication problem. This is the matrix which we are going to fill in order to get our solution. In order to get exactly the way by which when these 4 matrices are multiplied, the cost is going to be minimum. As you can see that I have put all these matrices over here. These represent the rows and these represent the columns. I will be starting from the lowest subproblem, which is going to be of length 1. Since this is dynamic programming, bottom up approach, so starting from the lowest subproblem. So this is our lowest subproblem, in which only one matrix will be under our purview. So when one matrix is under our purview, then the multiplication is not possible, right? To do the multiplication, we at least need two matrices. What is going to be the cost then? What is going to be the cost? If you think the cost is going to be nothing but 0, okay? Same is the case with the second subproblem, which of length 1, which is B. The cost is again going to be 0 because it's a single matrix, can't multiply it with anything because there is nothing to which we can multiply. This cell is also going to be 0 because we are looking at our third subproblem of length 1, which is C, and then this is the last cell. So I was talking about this cell is 0, and now we come to this cell, and this cell holds the value of our last subproblem of length 1, which is D. It is also going to be 0. Okay, now the length of the subproblems increases to 2. We are going one level higher. So the first subproblem which I am going to consider is going to be AB, A and B. I will be writing the cases here. Let me write here, and me give the header here as cases to avoid any kind of confusion. So I will be doing AB. Now I already have the value of A, okay, and B. So these are the cost, not the value, but the multiplication of A and B is going to be taken from here. It's going to be done from here, and the value is going to come as 5 into 4 into 6. 5 into 4 into 6 is going to be 120. So this is my value which I am going to put in this cell. Okay, so this is my first subproblem of length 2. Let me mark it here. Now let me work on the second subproblem, which is going to be any cases. Okay, I know it's going to be B and C. If you guessed it correctly, then you are welcome to put it down in comments. Now working on B and C, what is going to be the value? It is going to be 4 into 6 into 2. 4 into 6 into 2. So this is going to be giving me the value as 48. 48? Yes, it's 48. Then we move to the third subproblem. Okay, by the way, let me put 48 over here. Okay. All right. Okay. Working on the third subproblem of length 2, CT. So what is going to be the value? It's going to be 6 into 2 into 7. So this is going to give me 84. Is it going to give me 84? Let me quickly calculate that. 6 into 2 is 12. 12 into 7 is 84. All right. Let me put 84 over here. Okay. So length, these are the values which we got from our subproblems of length 2. Okay. Now the length of the subproblems increases to 3. So our first subproblem becomes ABC. A, B and C. Cool. Let me write it down here. Now some cases will be formed. So what are going to be those cases? So the first case, like I told you earlier in the slide before, that it's all about where we are putting the brackets. Okay. So the first bracket I am going to be putting after A. Okay, so BC will be calculated first and then it will be multiplied with A. Now we are going to calculate the cost of this particular case. So it's going to be the cost of A first. So what is the cost of A? It is 0. Cool. And then we are going to have the cost of BC. We are going to calculate the cost of BC. Now this is again a subproblem and its cost has already been calculated here. So this is the cell, as you can see, B to C. So this is the cell which gives me the cost of BC. So I'm going to put 48 over here. And then this multiplication cost, that means A with B and C. So this is going to give me 5 into 4 multiplied by 2. So this entire product 0 plus 48 plus 5 into 4 into 2, which is going to be nothing but 40, is going to give me the value as 88. Alright. Now let's consider our second case. So the second case is going to be A, B and C. We are putting the bracket now after B. So let me get the cost of C first. So the cost of C is 0, as you can see here. So 0 plus cost of AB. I already have it calculated. It is 120. I'm going to be writing here 120 plus multiplication of A, B and C. So the multiplication of A, B and C is going to be 5 into 2 into 7. Okay, so this is going to give me, is going to be 190. Now this 190 is not better than 88. So because we are searching for a way which is going to give us the minimum cost, hence we are looking after the minimum cost. So 88 is the minimum cost out of these two. I will be putting 88 over here. With this, I will be putting one more number, and that number is going to be 0. Now the question is going to naturally pop in your mind, why I have put 0. So I am storing the location after which I have put the bracket. So here, as you can see, that I have put the bracket after A. So A is at index 0. We are programmers, so our indexes start from 0. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. Let me write it down here to avoid any kind of confusion. Alright. Okay. The next problem that we will be working upon is going to be B, C and D. Okay. So as you can see, these are the cases and we will be calculating their costs. So here the cost of B is going to be 0. As you can see, the cost of B is 0. And then we are going to get the cost of CD. So C and D. 84 is the cost of CD. I'll be putting 84 over here. Plus the cost of B multiplied with CD. So it is going to be 4 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 7. Alright, so this is going to give me 252. Okay, now we are going to calculate the cost of this case. So D, the cost of D is 0. Then we add the cost of BC. So cost of BC is this cell, which is 48. All right. And then the cost of the multiplication, BC and D, which is going to be nothing but 7 into 2 into 4. the result of this addition is going to be 104. As you can see that 104 is lesser than 252, hence I'll be putting 104 over here. And with this, I will be storing a number, and that number is going to be 2 this time, because I have placed the bracket. The bracket is here after 2, after C, which is at index 2. So I have stored 2 over here. Alright. Now the length of the subproblems increases to 4. Now my subproblem becomes ABCD. Okay, and let me write down the cases. So first case is going to be A, B, C, D. Second case is going to be A, B and C, D. And the third case is going to be A, B, C and D. Now let me tell you one thing already, that this BCD and this ABC has already been solved. Hence, no need of putting braces inside. That's what dynamic programming problems are all about. Okay, the result of the previous subproblems or the overlapping subproblems are stored, and they have been stored well in this matrix, and we'll be taking the results from here as we have been using them already. The cases. So these are the cases, and I'll be calculating their cost one by one. Let's focus on this case. So I will be writing first the cost of A, which is going to be 0, as we already know, and then the cost of BCD. So BCD is 104. Let me write it over here, and then we are going to put down the cost of the multiplication of A with BCD. So it is going to be 5 into 4 into 7. The result of the summation is going to be 244. Let's focus on this one. So cost of AB is already there, it is 120. Then let me quickly put down the cost of CD, which is this 84. All right, and let me quickly write down the cost of multiplication of AB with CD, which is going to be nothing but 5 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 7. So this is going to come out as, all right, let me focus on the last one. So let me quickly write down the cost of ABC. ABC is nothing but this, so 88, and then the cost of D is going to be 0, and let me quickly write down the cost of the multiplication, which is going to be 7 cross 2 multiplied by 5. So this is going to be nothing, this is going to give me nothing but 158, and as you can see 158 is the smallest out of these three. So I will be putting 158 over here. Along with that, I will be putting 2 over here. So we have reached to the solution of our problem, which is going to be 158. That is the cost of multiplication which we are going to choose, and now we are going to use this matrix to find out where exactly the brackets will be put. So let me write it down over here. Now as you can see, we are going to start from this cell. So as you can see that the number is 2. That means, let me quickly write all the metrics here. So this cell indicates that I will be placing the bracket after C. Okay, so I'm going to be placing one more bracket here to complete it. All right, so this is one thing solved. Now when D is gone, because after C we have put the bracket, so as you can see that D is gone, so we'll be focusing on A, B and C. As you can see here, the value here is 88. With this we have 0. this indicates that a bracket has been put after index 0, which is A. So this clearly indicates that B and C are together like this. All right, and this is the way. This is the way which is going to give us 158. First we are going to multiply B and C together, then the result with A, and finally the entire result with D. So this becomes our most cost optimized way of the matrix chain multiplication problem. Let's move to seeing the algorithm of this solution now. Here is the algorithm of the matrix chain multiplication solution. Mij, M is our matrix, Mij is going to be minimum of either Mij, the value which is already present there, or Mik plus Mk plus 1 comma j plus dimensions of I minus 1 into dimension of k into dimension of j. I am sure that this formula is very clear to you. Now, one thing I promised you at the start of this video, that I'll be telling you something which when practiced is going to help you to get ideas to solve such problems all by yourself. The solutions to such problems are going to occur to you automatically. So let me show that to you. So all you have to do is work on these things in order. So first is the intuition to solve the longest palindromic subsequence problem. All right. So, and work on developing the intuition, and that is going to help you a lot. That means 50% of the job is done. Okay. The second in line is solve the longest palindromic subsequence problem. All right. So you are welcome to do it from anywhere, but I have made videos on these things and I will be providing the links to these videos in my description box, so you can watch those videos, okay, and learn from there. The third is the longest palindromic substring. So when you will be doing longest palindromic subsequence, longest palindromic substring will be slightly different from the approach used there, and that is why I want you to learn both the approaches. And third and fourth is the palindrome partitioning problem which you will be working on, and this is closely associated to longest palindromic subsequence. The intuition is same for all these three problems, so you need not worry. And once you have done palindrome partitioning problem, the fifth in line, which is the word break problem, is going to occur to you automatically. That's how confident I am. And once you have solved word break problem, then next time when you are going to be solving matrix chain multiplication problem, it will be very clear to you. And I'm sure that if you are going to do these things in order, then it is going to have a great positive impact on your learning. So with this, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do give it a thumbs up. Comment if you have any question. I look forward to help you with algorithms and programming. Thank you and goodbye.